Definition of a soldier. Hey man, Phineas, nigga. Y'all know what time it is, man. Spirit of Phineas on this motherfucker. What's happening, man? Definition of a soldier, militant minded, violent, silent, sleeping giant, iron, titan, soaring, flying.
Yeah, Israel. We back in the building. It's another Midwest Fire Weekend. ISUPK presents the third annual Midwest Barbecue, man. And guess what? It's all gonna be hosted by Big Priest, Captain Mawakwa.
Israel, all blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, ISUPK, keeping the movement going. We got a banging weekend coming. Fire weekend coming, July 25th to the 28th.
Street niggas to reach niggas from street corners. We see
to kick off that fire weekend, we got the official 12 Tribe breakdown lecture hosted, you understand, and ran by my man himself, Captain Katazai of New York, world famous, cross the line, everybody know it.
Let me tell you something, the only real Jews on the planet are the black, Hispanic, and Native Indians.
Shit. You ain't nowhere, man. Y'all know what time it is. 125th, 1 West, Harlem, since 1969.
Chicago's Fire Weekend, man. July 25th through 28th. They're gonna have a hell of a weekend. Jam-packed. Amazing events. First, you got Captain Katazai's lecture. You're gonna have camp. You got the barbecue, the Bantu Festival. Man, it's gonna be a hell of a time, man. The General's gonna be in town. Captain's gonna be in town. And it's in Chicago, man. Listen, come out, have a good time with us. We're gonna do it big, man. Shalom. It's gonna be camp. We're gonna have a fire camp. Manny, Jimmy, Yohana, all the Midwest heavy hitters.
On July the 25th, Captain Katazai gonna be performing the 12 Tribes lecture on 938 East 79th Street. Then, camp is gonna be held at downtown Chicago on July the 26th on 108 North State Street. Then also, we got the Bantu Festival on July 27th, 1501 West Rudolph Street. Last but not least, we got the cookout on July the 28th. The Midwest Cookout, man. We're going to be at Rainbow Beach Park, 3111 East 77th Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, man. Phineas, nigga. Y'all know what time it is, man. Spirit of Phineas on this motherfucker. What's happening, man? Definition of a soldier. Fuck 'em, focus, choke 'em, smoke.
Come out July 25th through the 28th to the Midwest Fire Weekend, man. We're gonna have brotherhood, sisterhood, barbecue, everything you can think of. It's gonna be a family event.
Angel of war coming, the archangel, the Lord coming for shortcomings. Street niggas.
Swat 5,000. You already know what time it is. Fire Weekend, Chicago, July 25th through the 28th, man. Get down there. The manager and Hunter gonna be in the building. We got the barbecue, the Bantu Festival.
Chicago, Chi-Town gonna be there. New York gonna be in the building. You know what I mean? Indianapolis gonna be in the building. You know what I mean? All the Midwest is gonna be in the building. We gonna take this joint up, man. Bantu Festival, we gonna mob in that joint. Alright? Most like Christ, y'all. Shalom.
Gotta be here. If you ain't here, shit. You
Man, Chief Sock, J, the Angry Black Man, we here in New York right now. I want to tell y'all about the event we got coming up this summer. July 25th to the 29th, we're going to be in the city of Chicago for the Bantu Festival. Y'all know nobody represent like the Israelite School, the UPK.
The angel of war coming, the archangel, the Lord coming for shortcomings. Street niggas to reach niggas from street corners. We see niggas and teach niggas.
Shalom, come to the Midwest Barbecue, July 25th to July 28th. Number 2 champions gonna be good. Understand what I'm saying? No, Bantu Festival, Fire Weekend is another one that's going down. The warlords will be in the building. Shalom.
Street niggas to reach niggas from street corners. We see niggas and teach.
The white man ain't nothing but the devil, the Bible speaks of.
Guess what? We also got the grill coming live from Chicago by Commanding General Yohana. Carolina on 938 East 79th Street, Chicago, Illinois. For more contact information, dial 312-547-1991. Again, for more contact information, dial 312-547-1991. Don't miss out on it. ISUPK, no cowards, no excuses.
Shit is going down. All 12 tribes are to come together under command General Yohana. Kwam Yashala! Kwam Yashala! Kwam Yashala! Kwam Yashala! Kwam Yashala! Kwam Yashala!
Power Shalom.
Carried us away captive, required of us a song. And the same ones that put us in slavery, they require us a song. You want to know what that song they require us is? Is that song, that Star Spangled Banner. You understand? The same ones that brought us in captivity in America make us sing their songs. You understand? The white man is the devil the Bible speaks on, man. He's a wicked on the earth. He deserves to be put to death, man. The Lord wants these people, the white man, to be put in chains. Be put to death for the crimes that they did against the Native Indians and the so-called Negroes. You understand? We wearing every 4th of July the Star Spangled Banner. You understand? We have on the red, white, and blue. We wearing their stars. We shooting their fireworks, commemorating their day. Because they require us of a song. Are you not supposed to put your hand on your heart in school? In school, you put your hand on your heart. You put your heels together and you say, oh, say, can they see? I wonder how that God-forsaken song is. You understand? They do that. They require us a song. And we sing it happily. Because guess what? Because in America in 2019, we're homeborn slaves. You want to know why? Because we believe and get raised up in today's society to Christianity. To the so-called white man's democracies. You understand? So from a kid in the high, in their eyes, we homeborn slaves. But in the Lord's eyes, you're supposed to be a king. You're supposed to be a princess. You're supposed to have royalty. But because you want to follow the so-called white man and be a homosexual, you have nothing on this earth. Because you want to follow the so-called white man and smoke cigarettes and weed, you have no power on this earth. Because you want to get tattoos, you have no power on this earth. Because you want to love the so-called white man in America, you have no power on this earth. Read. And they that wasted us required of us mirth. Say, sing us one of the songs of Zion. Say what? Sing us one of the songs of Zion. And at the same time, they want us to sing. They want us to teach them our songs. You want to know one of the songs that we used to sing? Sweet home, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. That's talking about getting us out of this slavery. You realize that song is about us getting out of that slavery? You realize that? But guess what? We sang that song when we picked on. We sang those songs. We sung them because we understand when we were in sorrow, in poverty, crying and suffering and dying, trying to plead and get us ourselves out this hellhole. But because the white man's the devil, we didn't have the form no more. We didn't have the law, statutes, and commandments to get us out of this slavery. You understand? The white man, because we were slaves under him, had us celebrate his holidays. Now grab me Amos 5:21. He had us celebrate his holidays, and his holidays have nothing to do with us. You understand? It's cool. I know it seems like this. It seems like something that you should do. Because you living in America, you call yourself an American citizen, so you believe in your mind that you're supposed to support and big up America. You understand? I know you fought in the wars. I know you fought for America. You fought for equal rights. You fought for everything you got. But guess what? The so-called white man gave you that as a crumb. The white man gave you equal rights as a crumb. The white man gave you civil rights as a crumb. You want to know why? You beat a dog enough, and you give that dog a treat. That dog's gonna start to love whoever gave him that treat. Have you ever heard the term "give a dog a bone"? Give a dog a bone. The so-called white man gave a nigga a bone. That bone he gave was Juneteenth. You understand? But I'm gonna get into that in a second. Read what you got. Come. This is the book of Amos. Chapter 5, verse 21. I hate. Say what? I hate. Out of the same Bible, you Christians say the Lord loves everything. says he hates something. So you better listen to what he hates. Go ahead. I despise. Oh, he didn't only just hate it, he elaborated on saying he despises that as well. You understand? Read. I despise your feast day. Your what? Your feast day. Your what? Your feast day. The Lord despises America's feast days. Why? Because July 4th has nothing to do with the Lord's chosen people. July 4th, guess why he hates your feast day? Because July 4th, 1776, you was a slave. You was picking cotton. You were getting burnt. They were still burning the cross on your lawn. You understand? That's what July 4th is representing. And not only that, July 4th, guess what you cooking on that grill? You cooking some ribs here. You cooking some pork, some crabs, some lobster. All these abominations of the Lord, you going around and you trying to eat that. You understand? You realize the Lord hates you for eating pork? You realize the Lord hates you for eating shrimp, crab, and lobster? You realize the Lord hates you for loving white people? You realize that? But during July 4th, you put all those things into one day. You understand? Read. And I will not smell in your solemn assembly. And the Lord ain't trying to smell your goddamn food. The Lord ain't trying to smell your pork that you put on that grill. You realize pork is what gives you acne, right? You realize pork is what gives you tapeworms, right? You realize that shrimp and crab and lobster is what gives you big cysts on your back, right? You put all this garbage on in your body, and you think the Lord loves you for it. The scriptures say to honor your temple. Your temple is your body. But you putting all this garbage and all this trash in your body, thinking that the Lord loves it. Man, you's a fool for that. You understand? That's why you go all through and through this Bible. It says the wisdom of this world is foolishness unto the Lord. You understand? What we believe to be right in America is foolish in the Bible. You understand? It's a foolish thing to be a Christian. It's a foolish thing to love white people. You understand? It's a foolish thing to celebrate July 4th. If you are black, Hispanic, Native Indian. You understand? Any more on that? Drop that. Read where it starts on the big article. The big paragraph if you could. You understand? So this is an article that Abraham Lincoln wrote himself. Everyone wants to say that on June 19th, 1865 is when slavery was abolished. You understand? That's what they say. I know everyone on all the so-called conscious black people that think they know any type of knowledge. On July 4th, they said we were still slaves on July 4th. We were free June 19th, 1865. It's called Juneteenth. It's something that black Hispanic Indians were celebrated last month on June. You understand? So this is an article Abraham Lincoln, the one that freed the slaves, wrote himself. Go ahead.
God, I will save the Union. I will save it to the shortest way under the Constitution.
To what?
Under the Constitution.
You understand? Abraham Lincoln, he was trying to do things. He was a political man. You understand? One of the founding forefathers of America, he was a political man. So of course, guess what? He was a politician. What are politicians very good at? Talking. You understand? Politicians are very good with words. You understand? So he's talking about the civil union of things that he needs to get done and things that he accepts and so forth. Go ahead.
The sooner the national authority can be restored, the nearer the union will be, the union as it was. If there be those who would not save the union unless they could at the same time save slavery.
So hear what he just said. Read that again.
If there be those who would not save the union,
if there were those who would not save the union
unless they could at the same time save slavery,
meaning, and at the same time free slaves, meaning the ones that if they had it their way, if they could not save the union, meaning keep the union going trash in the bad direction it was going, to free slaves. Go ahead.
I do not agree with them.
Abraham Lincoln said, I do not agree with them. Meaning that he wanted to make sure the politicals were in check before the slaves to be freed. You understand? He said, I want to make sure the political aspect is on point. Other than that, I don't care if the slaves are free. Go ahead.
If there be those who would not save his union unless they could object in and the struggle is to save the Union. Unless they could at the same time destroy slavery. I do not agree with them. My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union.
You understand? Abraham Lincoln's main objective when he freed the slaves was not to free the slaves. You understand? So-called free the slaves. You understand? His main objective was to make sure the Union was intact. The whole freeing the so-called slaves was not his intention. Go ahead.
And it's not neither. It's like either to save or to destroy slavery.
Wait, say what?
It's not either to save or to destroy slavery.
You understand? His objective was neither to save or to destroy slavery. Everyone wants to say Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. He's saying out of his own mouth, this is in quote, word for word, verbatim, what Abraham Lincoln, the founding father that freed the slave, so-called, said out of his own mouth. His intention was not to save nor free the slaves. Go ahead.
If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it.
Read that one more time.
If I could save the Union,
if Abraham Lincoln could save the Union
without freeing any slave,
without freeing the slaves,
I would do it.
He would do it. You understand? Abraham, guess what? You want to know why he said those words? Because Abraham Lincoln had slaves. You understand? Abraham Lincoln needed his slaves to keep up everything he had going on. How do you realize politics don't work without money, right? Guess what you don't have to do when you have slaves? Pay your laborers. You understand? Abraham Lincoln understood that he would have a better campaign to save the Union if he did not save the slaves or free the slaves. You understand? The so-called freeing of the slaves, that was not his intention. You understand? That was just a repercussion to the events that played at hand. But the whole point of the matter is, the repercussion of the so-called freeing of the slaves never got freed. You understand? They just had to recolonize the word slavery. Meaning this, the whole slavery aspect, they took off the chains. They took off the chains on the wrists and the ankles, and they put the chains on the mind with the so-called Christianity. You understand? The so-called white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
You understand? The so-called Juneteenth, the freeing of the slaves in 1865, was trash.
Right.
So-called Negroes and Hispanics are slaves today in 2019.
That's right.
You want to know how I know? What does the NFL draft look like? What does the NBA draft look like? Well, guess what the so-called white man that owns the teams, guess what he's doing? 152, 53, 54, he's selling so-called black people. You understand? It's just an auction block. And then instead of having them go work on the cotton fields, he's having them work in the Coliseums. You understand? He's having them work for the NFL. He's having them work in the NBA. He's having the Hispanics work in the minor leagues, in the major leagues. You understand? The common slavery right now in 2019 is minimum wage. You understand? That's a slave's portion. Because that slave's portion, that minimum wage, that can't support a household. You can't pay your bills. You can't feed your children. You still got to go ask for welfare. And at the same time, you still on drugs. You still suffering and dying by the police. You still don't know how to get your job. You still can't pay your bills. You're just a common slave. You understand? And all these things that I just named have you captured and have destroyed your mentality. Because at the same time, while you're still suffering and dying into your mental slavery, you go into the Christian church. You go into the Christian church thinking if you just sing and dance and salute the American flag on the 4th of July, then the Lord's going to free you from your hellhole. You understand? The ISUBK, that's the way you free a slave. The ISUBK is how you get out that mentality of a slave. You understand? You want to cure yourself of a mental disease called Christianity and Stockholm Syndrome? It's called the Law and Statutes and Commandments of the ISUBK under the Lord. You understand? It's oh so simple. But because the white man is such a political bastard, it's not simple no more. You understand? Because the wisdom of this world is foolishness. You understand? You can drop that. Grab me Deuteronomy 7:6 if y'all could. You understand? The whole point of the matter is the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you still slaves in America. You are. You might not like it, you might not know it, but you still a slave. You wearing the white man's clothes. You holding the white man's phone. You paying the white man's taxes. You paying the white man's rent. What does a black person own? What do you own? These so-called millionaires claim that they own properties, right? Guess what they still have to pay? Property tax. They don't own the water company. They don't own the school. They don't own the cable. They don't own the Wi-Fi. You realize that your so-called millionaire black people, your rich leaders, guess what they still have to pay every time they get a check? Taxes. You understand? Who do you pay taxes to? The one in charge. You understand? So who's in charge? Really? The so-called white man. But then you're going to go celebrate Juneteenth, have your own BET awards and all this nonsense saying, oh, well, I'm a rich millionaire, so I must be free. You realize that you just have better wages than most of us, right? Even the slaves had different portions at a period of time. The house slave, the house nigga got paid a little bit more than the field nigga. You realize that, right? It's just depending on the job you had, depending on your wages. That's why they have minimum wage. That's why you might make $10 an hour. You might make $15 an hour. You might make $1.5 million a year. Who cares what you make? The point of the matter is who's paying you. The so-called white man is the one that gives you your check. So how can you say you're free in America? Because you can walk up and down the sidewalk. My dog can walk up and down the sidewalk. Doesn't mean my dog's free. It's still my possession, don't it? Do I not feed my dog? Does my dog go around and buy its own dog food? Hell no. You understand? My dog doesn't have no freedom and independence. Neither do you. Even though we all bleed red according to the Christian church. You understand? Everyone bleeds red. Everything. Dogs, pigs, cows, cattle, bison, even ants. You understand? Bugs bleed red too. Does that mean we all equal? Do we all deserve the same commissary? No, we do not. Why? Because there's no such thing as equality. You understand? I know when the Star Spangled Banner, it says we all equal. America loves to promote that. We all equal. We all bleed red. We're all Americans. No, we are not all Americans. Just because you live in America does not mean you're an American. You understand? Go jump in the ocean with a snorkel and some fins. Are you equal to the shark then? Sharks bleed red too. So I'm pretty sure if you bleed in the ocean, the shark's gonna eat your behind. You understand why? Because there's no equality in the ocean. You understand? Dolphins fight sharks, but they both live in the ocean. They're both not equal. You understand? Go to the zoo. Ask all the animals the white man put in the zoo. Are they all equal too? You understand? The whole point of the matter is, the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's right. Us so-called Negroes have fallen into his propaganda. Right. We have. You might not like it, you might disagree, that's cool and fine and dandy, but guess what? The truth is what it is. There can't be more than one truth. It's either a truth or a lie. There's two sides to a coin, there isn't four. You understand? So with that, we have a barbecue fire weekend coming up the last weekend of this month. You understand? July 25th to July 29th. The ISUPK of the Community Johnny Hunter has a fire pack weekend coming up. You understand? On the 25th, on the east side of Chicago, we have a lecture breaking down the Black, Hispanic, Native Indians' true lineage, the true history, where you came from before slavery, what you were eating, what you were wearing, what you used to do, your culture, your heritage. We have the whole breakdown by a mighty man named Captain Katazar.
ISUPK Chicago presents the 12 Tribes Lecture by Captain Katazai from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. kicking off the Midwest Fire Weekend. For more information, contact 312-547-1991. Again, that's 312-547-1991. On July 25th, we're going to be on 938 East 79th Street, Chicago, Illinois. Don't miss out on this great lecture, man. This is going to be fire.
Captain Katazai, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohanan.
Why is having a lecture like this so important?
And one thing that we're missing out here is we're missing an identity, man. Every other race and nation of people knows who they are.
We're going to be bringing out all the archaeology as far as, you understand, proving who these tribes are.
If you look at this book right here, this is everything leaving our temple when they ransacked us. Rome minted this coin called the Judea capture, meaning Jerusalem captured.
And so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you understand, and the adjoining name as to who we are today and the various tribes that we're from.
Every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you were born a Jew. You were born an Israelite.
Our oppressors' culture, their religion, their God, was all forced upon us, and as a result, we lost the sense of who we are.
How did we get over here in America? Why were we in Africa? What were the Puerto Ricans and the Taino Indians and the Arawak Indians and the Incas and the Mayans? What were they doing over here?
This is a pushback and another step closer to us regaining our culture, getting back closer with the Most High, so that this way He can restore our nation and our people.
Why is it Latinos and blacks have not yet seen the similarities in their plight here in America?
We separate because we're in different religions. We separate because we identify differently. We separate because a brother wears a different goddamn color than you.
Black and Hispanics of Negro or Indian descent on their father's side, we are a conquered people.
We're on the bottom of every single social and economic system. We fill the prison systems. You understand that? We're number one in every single disease.
And upon being divided and conquered, they labeled us different races. They labeled us, you understand, under different categories. Black and Hispanics run together. We do recognize that we are the same people and have the same flavor. We got to get back to that and realize that we have a common enemy and a common identity. This is what gets someone off of drugs. This is what heals your soul and cleans you up. What made me join the ISUPK is I was searching for a very long time. I started with different, I guess, so-called religions or spiritual systems. And the reason as to why I'm here is because the truth is here.
Now, where should every Black, Hispanic, or Native American be on July 25th, 2019?
Man, every single Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian should be making a damn pilgrimage to the Midwest. You understand? With the heavy hitters, Captain Mawquad, Captain Gabar, Officer Ra'im, you understand? Officer Lamakia Allah, all them heavy hitting brothers, Salakia, if I missed y'all, Captain Kapash, you know what I'm saying? All these different brothers out in the Midwest that's raising up Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We should all be at that lecture at the Chicago school, you understand? I'd like to thank Captain Mawquad for extending an invitation for me to come out there and be able to break down this information for our people, because it's so imperative that we wake up now more than ever.